Anyway, so let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Somehow I really love, this is always a topic that everybody kind of feels, oh, this is beyond me, or they flip into highly intellectual. But actually, it's actually really practical. And I love this particular meditation we're going to do this morning. So for me, emptiness is also this thing of kind of understanding, impermanence. Because nothing's really fixed. Nothing is really the way we think things are. Karma is also, you think about karma, it's kind of like a dependent arising. This is also another way to kind of get into understanding emptiness, is that things just don't happen by themselves. So that man that walked away from the fiery conflagration yesterday in a white shirt and his mobile phone and a few scratches on his face. He was the only one that was able to get out. So anyway, just allow that to settle in your mind, how extraordinary that is. It's like you see in a movie. So both feet flat on the floor, shoulders aligned with the hips. Feel the weight of your hands in your lap, shoulders aligned with your hips, ears aligned with the shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. You're just really lengthening your spine. Then go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, the forehead, the whole of your face, the neck. Allow a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly, and all of your limbs. Be aware of the sensations of your breath as you inhale and exhale. Then be aware of sound in your environment, or any sensory information that might be distracting you. Your cat walking past your computer, the sound of a person in your home. Someone's maybe making a meal or a coffee. You can smell it. So try not to investigate with the mind. Just bring the mind back to the breath. And then notice what's arising in your mind this morning. Seems to be quite a lot going on in the world right now. So just maybe some people aren't really tuned in to the news. So you might not be bothered, or it might not be something that's kind of a focus for you. Some people are very tuned in and very concerned. So, put some space in between your thoughts. Be curious about what's there. Give yourself permission. You've already given yourself permission to come along here for 30 minutes and meditate. And within this 30-minute bubble, give yourself some space to meditate. So all the things that you're thinking about that you might have to do when we're finished, they'll still be there when we're finished. Bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, ones you don't like so much. Remembering these people are all equal. They don't want to suffer. They all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we'll do this meditation this morning. So, think of an intention for your coming along here. Like, what brought you here this morning, and what is your intention for this morning's practice? And then you can, think of a motivation. So we're doing this to be able to benefit sentient beings, for ourselves, clear our minds, so we can be better human beings on the planet. So think of yourself as a spy. I mean, in the mindfulness meditation course, they call this your introspection. But we have this little spy, and slowly and carefully become aware of your eye, not your physical eye. This person you call me, your, Mary or Robert or Lorraine or Coral, that I. So who is it that is thinking, that is feeling, that is meditating? And how does it appear to you? Is your I a creation of your mind? Or is it something that's existing concretely, independently in its own right, sort of separate from you? So now think about where is its location, this eye? Is it in your head, your eyes, your heart, your stomach, your feet? So carefully think of each part of your body, your organs and blood vessels and nerves. And can you find your eye? It might be very subtle and small, so think about those cells and atoms and subatomic particles. And if you do think your eye is part of the body, then what would happen if that part were removed in an operation or damaged in an accident? And then what happens when your body ceases to function at death? So perhaps you think your mind is the eye. The mind is constantly changing. A stream of thoughts and feelings and other experiences coming and going in rapid succession. The mind is constantly moving, a river of mental moments. It's never the same from one moment to the next. So which of these experiences is the I? Is it a loving thought, an angry thought, a happy feeling, a depressed feeling? If you think that your I is one of those experiences, then what happens when that kind of experience is no longer present in the mind? If your I is love, for example, and then when your mind is full of anger, does the I go somewhere else or disappear? Is there no I at that time? Or maybe you have many eyes. Also, Venerable Robina talks about all those roommates under the bed. Are they all eyes? The angry one, the loving one, the frightened one. If you cannot find the I in your body or your mind, then could it be something else? Like, is it some extra part of you other than your body and mind? So we say, my body, my mind, implying the existence of something else that owns these two. And if so, what is that? Where can it be found? What kind of phenomenon is it? So try and examine a number of different possibilities. So circle back to the way your I appears to you. How does it feel to you? And after you search for the I, do you notice any change? Do you still believe that it is as solid and real as you felt before? Does it still appear to exist independently in and of itself? And now think about mentally disintegrating your body. It's slightly similar to what we do in that body of light meditation. So imagine, except this time we're not dissolving into light. Just imagine all the atoms separating and floating apart. Billions and billions of minute particles scatter throughout space. And imagine that you can actually see this. All these little tiny particles of yourself disappearing into space. Now disintegrate your mind and let every thought, feeling, sensation, and perception float away. Then check your feeling of I. Where is it? What is it? So try not to think my body is not the I and my mind is not the I, therefore I don't exist. You do exist, but not in the way you instinctively feel, as something independent and inherent. Conventionally, your self exists independence upon mind and body, and this combination is the basis to which conceptual thinking ascribes the name I, or self, or Mary, or Coral. This is the you that is sitting and meditating and wondering, do I exist? Or how do I exist? So whatever exists necessarily is dependent upon causes and conditions, parts and names for its existence. So, when I moved into this cottage, I had a little altar Tibetan table. Then Robina said it's too small, so then I got I got an IKEA cabinet. Well, it didn't arrive the way it looked in the image on the website. It was called this conceal or something. I don't know what it's called, but it came with many different parts. So it was a collection of screws, metal bits, um, white bit, white white bits of board, some instructions, plastic, and so I had it delivered to my friend Bob's house, and he put it together for me. So we give this collection of parts of screws and metal bits and bits of cabinet, plywood, I think, with white plastic on top. And I give the name of that collection cabinet with drawers that open and close. But if we look for the real concrete, independently existing cabinet, it can't be found. So conventionally, things exist dependently, and understanding dependence is the principal cause for understanding their ultimate nature, emptiness. The conventional nature of an object is its dependence upon other things, and its ultimate nature is its emptiness of inherent independent existence. So just allow that to land, because some of these concepts might be new for some people, and not at all new for others. Maybe you've been thinking about this for years. So just allow this to just slowly sink in. You don't have to understand it. So think now about your body and how your body exists conventionally. Or in order for our body to work, it works in dependence upon the skin, the blood, the bones, the legs, the arms, the heart, the brain. And in turn, each of these exists in dependence upon its own parts. The cells, the atoms, the subatomic particles, the neurons. And think about how your mind exists in dependence upon thoughts and feelings and perceptions, sensations, and how in turn each of these exists in dependence upon the previous conscious experience that gave rise to it. So, we can track our thoughts back. In that meditation we do, continuity of consciousness, we can track our thoughts back. What were you thinking when you woke up this morning, and how is it impacting you now? It's the kind of the basis of how cognitive psychology or psychology works. If you walk around telling yourself, I'm a really bad person, or this situation I'm in is really horrible, then that you're going to start believing that. Then you'll start feeling trapped and depressed. So now go back to your feeling of self or I, and think about how you exist conventionally in dependence upon your mind, your body, and your name, the self's parts, your self's parts. And so for example, when you feel hungry or cold, right, you say, I'm hungry, I'm cold. And when you have an idea, you might say, I've got this fantastic idea. I've thought of this thing. Or when you love someone, you might say, I love you. And when you introduce yourself, you say, my name is Paul. So apart from this sense of I that depends upon the ever-flowing, ever-changing streams of body and mind, is there an I that's solid, unchanging, and independent? The mere absence of this inherently existing I is the emptiness of the self. So for the next 5 minutes, we have 5 minutes left. Just contemplate all of these ideas, these thoughts that we've had this morning. Just check in with yourself. How's that landing? Does it make sense? Or not? If your mind starts to travel and wander off, just bring it back to the breath. And you can think of any part of this meditation, the atoms splitting off into space, the mind, the thoughts, feelings splitting off into space. All the idea that an object, such as a car or an IKEA product, is just made up of parts that are dependent upon each other in order to be able to work. Like if you put the screw in correctly, you can hinge the door correctly, will open and close correctly. If the screw's missing, you can't make the door work. Or as we come towards the end of our meditation, maybe think about, if you've come to some kind of a conclusion about how yourself exists. And we can think about dedicating any, really sincerely, any positive energy and insight you may have gained this morning to the enlightenment of all the sentient beings, all the people of your life. And that, just think that this meditation is just one step along the path to finally achieving sort of a direct insight into emptiness, cutting the root of suffering and dissatisfaction. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Mary, thank you for hosting. Lots of love. I'll see some of you tonight. Okay, thank you. Bye, everybody.